Welcome back to Rimworld. Last episode we fought a massive raid that came in, many angry dwarfs, and of course we recruited our good friend Thomber at the same time. Now I do have to rename these boys, don't forget. Generally the way I like doing it is letting a character sit around for a couple episodes before we rename it. I think it's always a shame when we rename a character and then they die 5 minutes later. So these boys have proven themselves, I think. Everybody has survived and fought through a raid. The dog actually almost died. Yeah, he's still not doing too good here. He really should be in bed resting. I don't know why he's not. So, I'll go ahead and rename it. Now, not to forget here, Brain, but there is... another raid just turn up? I thought it did. I was thinking, should we unpause? Maybe I should double check first. But we've had a raid turn up, and I probably should have dealt with that before we finished last episode. But with our characters that we've got now, I think we're going to deal with it easily. Now, I've also installed a mod recommended last episode, Search and Destroy, which means if an enemy is within melee range, they will actively pathfind over to them and start attacking them. Because what we found last episode with that sort of big brawl that happened over here is that we had characters fighting the enemy, but then other characters just stood 2 foot away watching, unless I manually told them to go and engage. So, with this mod, hopefully it will help make brawls a little less micromanagey. So... let's send... who have we got that's healthy? So, Patches, Jimbo, you're healthy. Noli is our one-stop chop shop. It turns out, from what I noticed while I was editing last episode, and as a lot of you pointed out in the comments, that Spite was the sort of magic ball attack that I thought that Thromber was firing. Actually, turns out it's from Noli. I toggled it on earlier in the episode. It couldn't toggle it off again. Turns out that's what that is. So this boy's actually a very good long-range fighter, and if they close the gap, he's got 16.2 melee. I think Noli is going to be our sort of head base guardian here. Do you want to come and get an actual weapon? Come and grab, like, what have we got? Dwarven Axe of Moonlight. That sounds pretty useful. Come grab this one. You boys get out here and get ready to fight and defend the farm, because if this thing's going to burn quickly, and our Lembas harvest has just come through. How long does this stuff last? 1.1 years outside? Holy shit, Lembas is like regular corn, but cranked up to 10, because this stuff is worth way more nutrition, I assume. Nutrition 0.05. Is that not exactly the same as regular corn? Have we got any regular corn kicking around? Lembas corn, regular corn. 0.05. I guess it's just when you process it into Lembas bread that it becomes much more valuable. Okay, cool. It might be better than regular corn just in terms of the yield it gives, but you know, before we worry about farming and shit, let's fight off this raid. Okay, team, squad up. So with Seek and Destroy, like I said, it's going to make micromanaging big battles much better. The plan is to install like a 2x colonist population mod and have like a proper army. A big battle between these massive Rimworld factions. Especially as I've got better or stronger faction bases enabled too. I think this is going to be pretty cool, seeing some big old battlefield duels. Did you actually go and get that Axe of Moonlight? I think I drafted him before he could finish picking it up here. Right, go back and grab it. I'm sure these boys won't need your help because they're pretty strong. Especially with Noli on board, but... just in case, every little will help here. Right, Thromber, get out here. They are attacking immediately. I thought maybe they would stand around for a while in classic Rimworld style. Walking circles, getting hungry for a bit before they launch the raid. Alright, let Jimbo go up front. Let's meet them on the fields. Jimbo, if you can get an early hit, that'd be great. Noli, stand still, fire some fireballs off. There we go. Boom. Alright, so this boy is basically doomed. Splitting up was your first mistake, my friend. Thromber, get over here. Let's click the Search and Destroy button. So we've also got Search and Destroy for ranged pawns. I'm going to enable that one as well. Patches is down again. Every battle, this dude gets hit once and he goes down. He's so bad. Is it because of the scratch? No, I think it's 1%. I guess he's just getting unlucky here. Probably because he's on the Vanguard, to his credit. Right, take him out, team. Nice. And now we've got Trobbo. We've got some more magic coming in. Oh, look at that. Easy. Not even a problem. Except for Patches, who's apparently on the floor in the first 5 seconds again. Classic Patches. They left us from Smoke Leaf. That's pretty good if we need some quick mood fix. Not a big fan of it. I might forbid it for now. And then if we get into, like, a real emergency, because we're still sort of in the early game here, we don't need to worry about managing mood that, you know, strictly this early on. But when it gets a little more risky, when we get, like, psychic waves and things, that's maybe when we want to use the Smoke Leaf there. So I think this episode, long overdue, we've got a decent amount of colonists. We've got a prisoner as well that we're waiting to recruit there. Moss, who's apparently the world's greatest cook here, 16.27. The dwarves seem incredibly skilled, probably because they're much, much older. You know, they've had a much longer life to actually learn these skills. So that's my headcanon anyway. So what we're going to do with that is, whoa. Why are you still bleeding? Has no one patched you up? Pots, actually come and heal our friend here. Right, there we go. We'll just make sure the drops are right. I guess it's just because he's been actually prioritizing his own bed rest, and rightly so. Okay, so like I was saying, what we want to do is start working on the actual fortifications of the base. So I have installed the no map edge mod because I really, really love that idea of forcing people to go through the town, sort of through the market area, through the castle, have big old like ramparts and things. So what I'm sort of planning on doing with the base because I don't want to make it so that we are completely unsiegeable, but I want to make it so that they are forced to actually go through the castle. So the plan sort of is, at the sort of edges of the maps here, we'll have... How can I mark this out? I don't have the planning mod, seriously? Oh, that's a little bit annoying. We'll mark it out with, like, growing zones for now, then. So the sort of plan is, we'll build big old walls all the way around the edge here, but then near the road, just because I don't want this to be completely OP, near the road, we'll sort of do something a little more like this, so there's still plenty of room for raids to come in, if that makes sense. So they've still got this quite large area. And then we'll also do it on this side as well. So we'll have walls, like I said, all the way around the map here. And then sort of a much larger staging area for raids and stuff. Again, we don't want to make it way too easy for ourselves, which is the whole reason you can't build that close to the map edge. But for this, I think it'd be kind of cool. And then obviously don't do that with the other colonies. It would just be for our main colony here. That would be an incredible amount of work as well. The amount of stone blocks we'd need to defend ourselves from sappers. We'd have to make the walls like 4 blocks thick. And all the way around the edge of the map. It's a very, very big task. But I think it'd be kind of cool. And again, as long as we leave enough room for raids to be somewhat fair, it won't matter too much. Like, I do want some challenge with this. I don't really see the point, like last series, honestly. It's why I got disillusioned with it somewhat, is having an incredibly easy Rimworld series where there's actually absolutely no threat at all. It seems a bit pointless to me. So we do want to sort of make it so that they are forced to come through the base, but also so that raids aren't completely stifled by it. We need more ice. So, whose job is it to make ice these days? What does that even count? Is it crafting, I assume? Cooking. Oh, it's cooking. Right, okay. So actually, the more cooks, the better then. So who's our main cook? It is Potts, who is apparently tending to patches. Yeah, Potts and the dog as well, both of which are injured, which is why, obviously, we're not getting any meals cooked right now. The Rhino's rotten in the base. Unbelievable. What we do want is... Let's go to animals and just make sure we're still trying to tame a Rhino as well. Obviously, that would be for Bonnet Bigly to do when he's healed. Yeah, I think putting Bonnet Bigly on an armored Rhino would be just the coolest fucking thing as he leads the troops into battle. I said that the king shouldn't lead the vanguard, and you guys in the comments apparently massively disagree with me and say that Bonnet should be on like the actual vanguard at the front of battle there. So, all right, you know what? I'll meet you halfway. Let's do that. But as long as he's on the back of an armored Rhino, then I'm fine with it. Did we not take away your weapons? That's a lady dwarf, but she's got a beard. Now, in Tolkien, I think the women dwarfs do have beards, so that's understandable. Female dwarf, aged 128 years old. Man, 16 cooking is absolutely insane, and she's gourmand as well, which is great. Oh, a paladin, nice. So she might have some special powers similar to Noli the Death Knight here. We've got a lot of dwarfs in our base all of a sudden. Alright, there we go. Our colonists are renamed. We have Deep Sea, the new, you're a smith, right? I should really give you your titles relative to what you do there so I can keep up with it easier. So, Deep Sea is indeed the smith, the crafter of the base, so I'll go ahead and rename that as well. We've got Egas, the sage, Lord of Plants, and occasionally OK crafter. Good melee, though. I actually didn't notice that with the small passion in it as well. This guy will be good in no time. We've got Reginald Elsip. Or Elkip. Didn't fit in the name, so I've had to call him Reggie Elkip for short. That's what Bonnet's allowed to call him and no one else. Well, that's what Bonnet calls him. He's not a big fan of the name, but Bonnet just calls him that because Bonnet is the king, and a little bit inappropriate like that. And then we, of course, have Jimbo the Second, rather than Jimbo version 2, because we are in a medieval setting here, so that does make way more sense. So I'm going to go ahead and rename them so they've got their relevant jobs as well, so I'm not constantly thinking, what the hell do you guys do? Alright, so I've assigned everyone a job based on what they've got to do then. So we have Deep Sea, Lord of Forge. We have Egas, Lord of Harvest. Reginald Elsip there, the Murder Miner. I figured that was appropriate. He spends half his time in the mine and spends half his time murdering. We've got the dog, the gardening chef, because he is good at gardening and obviously cooking as well. Jimbo the Second, you are the construction sir. I did originally call him the constructor king, but I thought that was a little bit rude for Bonnet there. We've got the Master of Stone, great at mining, great at construction. We have Potts, who is the herbal doctor, because of obviously his intellect and his plant skill there. And of course, Bonnet, king of King's Crusaders, the euphonymous king of the King's Crusaders. And then, of course, when Moss joins, you can be actually proper cook supreme. We've got too many cooks. You know what they say about the broth? They'll fucking ruin it, to be honest with you. So ideally, we probably want to start teching our cooks out into other jobs as well, seeing as we'll have 3. So what else are these boys good at? I mean, ideally, reducing, like Herbal Doctor, for example, reducing him down and just having him focus on other jobs instead. You know, he's fairly good at, say, he's okay at crafting, 6 out of 20, so we might want to start upping him in that type of thing and focusing on those stats for the future. For now, you can stay like that until we've recruited this guy. Speaking of which, prisoner, we need to force to work. No, we just want to recruit you. Work and recruit. Oh, interesting. I wonder if that's slower than just regular recruit. Anyway, we'll just go for regular recruit for now, because I feel like that's more than appropriate. Malnutrition trivial. It's because everyone's ill. It's because everyone's dying in bed. So we're going to have to wait for these boys. We're going to need a warden, aren't we? Because that is Bonnet, which is why you're not getting fed. Who's our next best warden? Oh my god, it's slim pickings, team. I feel like it's going to be Deep Sea. Yeah, it is. Okay, go on then. You can also be the warden if it's needed. This is not good. Like this, but this... What the oh, that's the dead rhino. That was the dog carrying the dead rhino. I thought it was some sort of horrible eldritch beast. No, it's just a golden retriever. Right, here we go. I don't think you're going to be able to recruit them, but actually, you know, a 0.7 reduction in resistance there, that's going to help out a lot, seeing as Bonnet Bigly is going to be in bed for probably days. Oh my god, he's got inspired recruitment as well. That's so shit. The second he can walk, we will get him out of bed. So bed rest for him is lower than warden. You know what, honestly, I feel like when he gets out of bed, he needs to get on that immediately. Because if we can recruit this guy, that would be incredible. Bonnet is awake. Thank God for that. Did he pick up the wrong axe then? Yeah, he absolutely did. Oh, man. I never thought about that. Maybe the enchantments affect the Where's My Weapon mob, which makes them automatically equip any weapons that they've dropped previously. I suppose it probably can't tell the difference between different axes with enchantments. That would kind of suck. So we have to make sure that he always keeps this one for the research bonus, obviously. Right, okay. Welcome aboard, Bonnet. Honestly, I didn't realize that... what else have we got then? So we want to make it so he's basically only getting out of bed to do Warden and then going immediately back to bed. So I'm going to lower Train and Handle for now. Yeah, everything else is good. Like, there is research to do, but again, it can wait. And then I'll reset that back when he's done with his life. So we get rid of our other Warden for now, because we only want Bonnet to be the one doing this. Right, Training Whisper. When he's done with that, he should go... Yeah, there we go. Straight back to bed. Right. So he's only going to get out of bed now to try and recruit Moss? Moss? It doesn't matter. You're going to get renamed anyway, let's be honest with you. Enemy Dwarf Thief of the Dwarven Bandits. Kind of self-explanatory, really. Why are these things being put just out in the open? That's not good. Corpses? Let's say no human-like corpses. Let's actually bury them in the mass grave. So what I might even do is build another mass grave a bit more convenient rather than being all the way over there. Right, that should help out a fair amount. We've got steel being made, Deep Sea is crafting weapons, Patches is crafting us some steel. This is cool. Oh, man, and they're making glass panes as well, which is going to help out a lot with this area. And there we go. Bonnet King is no longer inspired recruitment, and we got Moss immediately there. So what spells do you have? What magic do you have? Oh, this is cool. So you've got 1 point to learn, 2 points to learn, 2 points. Okay, yeah, fair enough. So he actually doesn't know any magic right now. And when there is a the reason the mana gain is low because there is a mana drain active on the map. What have we got then? Holy Wrath. Calls forth Holy Wrath upon this land. I guess we can't learn that one then. It also doesn't have any points, so I guess we have to learn the sort of basic one here. Heal sounds really, really great. That sounds incredible. We've got Shield Efficiency. Protects the Paladin from damage for 50 seconds or until the shield is broken. Also very cool. Valiant Charge. Flies with the wings of an angel to a distant location. I feel like healing is absolutely what we need to go for here. Overwhelm. Divine Power is unleashed from the Paladin, overwhelming the physical and mental senses of nearby creatures. Again, utility character sounds way more useful. We've got killing power. We've demonstrated that time and time over with Reginald L. Sip there, or Reginald L. Kip. I still don't really know how you pronounce that. So Moss, I think you would be a much better character to just have as our little healer. So what we want to do is Bonnet. You can go back to number 1 bed rest and sort of reset his jobs back to how they were before. That's looking a lot better. So Dwarven Cook. Funnily enough, is going to be left in charge of cooking. My god, that's our first sort of like gold skill. That's incredible. Right, Butcher, cooking. Don't bother with anything else. Brewing is irrelevant. Hunting, I will put to priority 1, so I kind of want everybody hunting. Yeah, for everybody. There we go. It will say Hunter's lacking range weapon, but I think if we give them a sidearm, it should get rid of that notification. The Dwarf Cook is bad at everything else, which is great for us. So what we can do is lower these boys down, actually have them do something else a bit more important there. Hauling should definitely go up for you as well, so that actually when you harvest a crop, you do take it back to base as well. This is cool. Right. And now delivery as well would allow them to deliver resources to big constructions. Only really essential if we're building big buildings or have a large project going on, which we really don't right now. So not too important. As long as the cook is the only one sort of taking priority of cooking, then we should be good. Now, speaking of a large construction project, we should really stick down a few more bedrooms as well. So let's go ahead and create that blueprint once again for the 100th time. Whoops, helps if you take the whole thing, genius. Right, there we go. All right, so how many have we got? So we've got, what's that, 7 extra colonists? Oh, we've got 8 colonists now, Jesus. So we've got Bonnet, and only 5 bedrooms, so we'll need 2 more of these. I don't really like building them in this big old straight line like this. It's going to start getting a little bit ugly, so I'm going to start sort of tapering it in a little bit for defensive reasons, so they're not completely exposed in a massive line as well. You know, they need to get to this stockpile, so there's no reason for them to be... If I keep doing it the way I'm doing it, we're going to be all the way up to the map edge, and they're going to be spending about 15 minutes walking back into the freezer. Right, there we go. So that gives us plenty of bedrooms. More than we actually need, but it's better for that way, just in case we do get some more prisoners. Bass Corpse, rotted away in storage. We need ice. What are my cooks doing? Mars, cooking 4 simple meals. Oh, shit, maybe we should keep a secondary cook, then. You know what, the dog? You're out of here. Get out. Potts, Herbal Doctor, welcome aboard. We've got a lot of people with priority 1 harvest, but we've got much less people with priority 1 cooking. And seeing as ice creation is apparently cooking as well, we haven't got much butchering going on either. Yeah, okay, so sure, you're back on the cooking menu. Holy shit. Author Deep Sea created the homing warhammer of something. Experiments. What does that do? Oh, research speed. Oh, shit, and it's homing as well. Giving it +2 melee damage per second is massive. 13.2. Holy shit. Well, okay. So, who do you want to give that to? Man, is the research better than the Axe of Infinity? Because this might go to Bonnet Bigly then. 118% research speed. I think the axe that he's got right now only gives 112, eh? Or 115, something like that. I believe it's lower. Let's just double check this one here. It is... Oh, it's also 118, but he does move and learn faster and works faster. This is better for a utility character, which he obviously is. I think you, my friend, can have the Warhammer. A little tiny, powerful dwarf with a massive hammer seems kind of cool. There we go. So one of you pointed out in the medieval furniture mod, there is actually much, much nicer walls than the base game. So part of me wants to completely rebuild the entire base out of these, but for the future I will remember this. Let's go ahead and get rid of the walls that we are building now then. Wooden wall, cancel those. And we'll just replace them with these. See what they actually look like. Do you want wall or wooden wall? I don't think it really matters too much. We've also got vent walls. Does it actually do anything? Can air come in and out? Or is that just like a design choice? Because I assume the window wall doesn't actually let them look through the window there. Antique doors. Man, this is nicer. This is so much nicer. I should be building basically everything out of these. Right, let's go ahead and get these down then. As if he's done it. 4.5% chance we have Lyra the Rhino. I'm so impressed by that. So this is going to go to our boy, Bonnet Bigly. I've already set it to be trained here. It's not like I accidentally started recording this once before and then stopped it midway. I've also given Whisper the Labrador Retriever to the dog, ironically enough. Mainly because he's doing field work and the dog actually knows how to haul, so that will help out bringing crops into the freezer, that type of thing. And I've set to follow Master while Master is drafted. Now the Rhino is incredibly good. Hopefully we can grab another one of those in a second. If everybody could have a Rhino, that would be a glorious day. In fact, male, female, this is what I like to see. Rhino breeding. Think of it now, right? How many medieval societies rode on horseback? And I see a lot of people asking for a horse mod. I've looked at a few, but I'm not really sure about it yet. Instead, everybody rides rhinos into battle. You imagine that, Vanguard. You imagine that charge into battle. I mean, they would be shitting themselves, or at least I would be if I saw a rhino heading towards me. Anyway, let's go on with this raid, which has turned up with 3 angry dudes. I'm not sure if I caught this one on video either, because apparently OBS is having a bad day. We have... is Sagatros, black, and are they any good? Are any of them worth keeping? Okay, this guy is very passionate in just about everything. Intellectual is high. Melee is very, very good with this dude. We've got, so they've given him a bow. He's also on a pig. We've got black here, who is double passion for crafting and intellectual. Could be a useful character in the long term. Oh, God, they're all pretty good. They're all pretty good in their own way. Any characters with melee in this series are going to be incredibly valuable, whereas normally I'd be like, oh, melee, that's terrible. But in this time... We're looking good here. So any of these we can take alive, the better. Let's get everybody squatted up. Bonnet Bigly, I think because you're still injured, you can stay at home. Let's get everyone over here. So I'm replacing all the walls with those fancy looking wood walls because aesthetics are everything, eh? Right, bring them over. So we want to turn on Search and Destroy. Not yet. Hang on. No, hang on. Wait, turn off Search and Destroy until we've actually began combat. Let's set ourselves up in a sort of good scenario. Let's set ourselves up in a good... fortifiable area for our rangers and our magicians to fire off some shots to begin with here. Exactly like that is sort of what I was aiming for with this. Do you want to bring the dog around a little bit so he can actually engage? Jimbo instantly downed. Thank you, Jimbo. You know what? I feel like standing here waiting to get shot at is a bad idea. There we go. Move in. Search and destroy. And you boys, search and destroy as well. There we go. They're already fleeing. Oh, we accidentally killed him. Jesus, we caved his head in. Potts, are you alright? Potts once again, death in 18 hours. God damn it, get home. Go and heal yourself up. I'll tell you what, you heal yourself up. The dog rescued Jimbo. Everybody else, that was good. That was a good raid. Much not as bad as I thought. That's exactly what I meant to say. And we got ourselves some delicious pig for dinner. What is that one? A heavy short bow. What does that do for us? 95% aiming time, so actually it's a quicker aiming bow. Now, seeing as we're trying to give everybody a sidearm anyway, that works out pretty well for us to get a free bow out of it. We'll give that to Bonnet Bigly, because I think if anybody deserves a good sidearm, it's our boy Bonnet. Reginald L-Kip, Murder Miner, has grown stronger, and is ready to develop a combat skill. Right, okay, let's see what we've got then. I really love this system, I think it's awesome. So what have we got? I really like Spite. Seeing as it's just firing a big old fireball at people. Intensity increases spike damage by 10% per skill level. Seems like a fair upgrade. Decreases the stamina cost. Well, he seems to only fire it every now and again. I think mana is more of a limiting factor. Or hate, I should say. We've also got staggering. Overwhelming them and stun them. Oh, now if this is just a base game stun, that could be very, very valuable. Locking anyone down their tracks. 45%. So almost a half chance there to stun them per spite. I'm wondering if earlier on it'd be better just to buff up his sort of hate gain. Or a stamina gain, or something along those lines, so that you can actually do more attacks quicker. Right now it's only at 22 hate, and to fire these off, does it say how much it... Oh, so it just costs stamina, does it really? Okay. Spite must have hate to be used. Oh, so maybe it does drain a particular amount of hate. I have absolutely no idea. Either way, I think going for one of those sort of stamina regain ones would be better early on. So that increases stamina, that decreases the cost of all abilities by 3%. Doesn't seem particularly high. Damage of all combat abilities by 5%. Rate stamina is recovered by 5%. Well, he's at maximum stamina now. Again, I feel like hate is the one that's actually limiting him here. Let me see if there's anything that can buff that one up. So I'm actually going to go for this passive lifesteal effect here. So double tap actually generates hate proportional to the damage dealt, and we've buffed up this ability a fair amount anyway. So I think maybe maxing out this one to start off with keeps him alive, generates a lot of hate, and then going for a secondary combat ability that he can spam is probably a better idea. I'm a big fan of this like weird ranged Death Knight class. You wouldn't really imagine it with a name like Death Knight. So the wars are going to take a hell of a long time to replace. I might skip through this very, very quickly. And then, oh, look at that. Whisper is working as intended. We've got a big harvest coming in. Oh my god, medicine. That is exactly what we've been waiting on for ages now. Right, so we can actually start curing people up without just, doctoring. Bonnet Bigly is still going to be out of the mix for quite some time here. But getting the Lember spread done as soon as possible, I think, needs to be another top priority here. Food is okay. We're in a good place for the food situation. I'm building another ice box, though, to help keep the temperature low. It does get quite low, but them opening and closing the doors constantly, even with the double insulation here, is still killing it a little bit, unfortunately. So the overall temperature is staying not that low. Especially with, when one icebox runs out, then it starts dropping again. So I am going to build another icebox and try and prioritize that a little bit higher. Let's pretend I didn't almost let Pots die there. Right, there we go. Thank you, Deep Sea, for saving our boy. I cut one of those out last episode when I did that, because I was like, oh, people are going to shout at me. But then everybody shouted at me for cutting it out of the video. So I'm going to leave in all my best mistakes. There you go. Pots is fine. Blood loss extreme, not life-threatening. That's a myth. I don't know who told you that. So we've... Oh, wild boar. Oh, shit, that's kind of cool, because wild boars are another animal that we can ride on, like the Rhino. We're just waiting for Bonnet to actually get up and be able to move. So oh my god, the Rhino's sleeping next to him. This is so good. They're having a party, and they invited the Rhino. Oh, Rhino, come back, please. You're the life and soul of it. Hey, this is kind of cool. All of our colonists finally, spending some time to get to know one another. Why don't we check through the social tabs in very quickly and see what they think of one another? Bonnet is great friends with Rick Potts. Bonnet, rescued in plus 15, of course. That's kind of why he gave all these titles to people, They talk deeply about sexuality with Egas. Ooh, interesting. We've got Reggie L-Kip, also a good friend of Bonnet Bigly there. Acquaintances with more or less everyone else. Not a big fan of Rat, unsurprisingly. Oh, because Rat apparently has creepy breathing. But Potts is friends with no one. Enemies of everyone. Probably, I imagine him kind of like the Doctor from Star Trek. He's a little bit annoyed of constantly saving everyone. We've got Patches, everyone's friend apparently. Look at this boy. Friends with the dog, friends with Rick Potts, Bonnet Bigly, Reginald L-Kip, Mose, Deep Sea as well. Even a positive opinion at least. And again, rivals with the Rat because of his creepy breathing. Jimbo, friends with Bonnet Bigly and the dog, and relatively neutral with everyone else. This is cool. We've got a nice little colony here. We've got a lot of some socialites there. Reginald, oh man, Reginald L-Kip had some really, really good friends. He's like insanely good friends with Bonnet Bigly. Bonnet Bigly, not a big fan of him. Maybe being a bit of a suck up here. Egas, the creepy breathing man, likes people, but people don't like him. That's a sad story, really. Deep Sea, one of our newer people, doing fairly well considering. Good friends with the dog, considering they've only really just started together. Alien loved by Xenophile. Oh. Okay. Moving on. And then obviously good friends with Bonnet Bigly there, but Bonnet doesn't really like him. Another suck up, really. Most needs a name, and will be renamed next episode, as long as they survive up to that point. Alright, so in the process of converting the entire base to these nicer, more medieval looking walls, the Dwarf Cook has gained a better understanding of magic. Right, this is cool. So I think going for healing is just a given, right? 2 points to learn for some of the other skills here. Overwhelm also sounds useful, but I mean, the healing just sounds so good. Learn healing. There we go. Welcome aboard our new, not really a dedicated doctor, I guess, but pretty decent. So what does this do? Increase the mana rate recovery, so that might be pretty good to have. Decrease the mana cost by 7% per base cost, right? Increase the maximum number of wounds healed. Oh, okay. That sounds very, very useful. So having that one up to maximum would help out a lot. I didn't realize it was quite so limited. So we can only heal 1 wound per day. At the current amount, I guess? That seems pretty crazy. Okay. And it also costs 15% mana as well. Okay, fair enough. And amount each wound is healed by 3 points per level. Man, I'm not sure whether it's worth going for heal power and saving it for particularly deadly wounds. So the way Bonnet Bigly was last episode, or the way the dog was last episode, would have been much better to have Moss use its, like, a very, very high powerful healing power on, you know, a person who's closer to death. Might be worth doing that instead then, seeing as we've already got a fairly good doctor with some medicine as well. But I think maybe the best medicine we're ever going to get. I can't imagine we get much better than herbal medicine. I don't know why the hell we're storing it in the warehouse here. Hang on a minute, that's not right. So a couple of high elves came to visit. They didn't really stay for very long, but they did leave us apparently 20 biofuel, whatever the hell that is, and 133 salted stone. Right, okay, that's not what I imagined it to be. Now, we did also very vaguely get a pop-up about a quest that I think we should send our boys on, seeing as, you know, this is all about questing. So we have an Orb of Souls over here, Threat Unknown, or, in the very north, in the Sao Forest, we have an Orb of Conviction. Now, apparently, again, Threat Unknown, apparently the Orb of Conviction is incredibly useful, because it allows you, it's a single cast, and you can instantly convert anybody to your side. But again, it will break when we use it. So the question is, which do we want to go for? Do we want to get that Orb of Souls, or do we want to get the Orb of Conviction? They're both worth the same amount of value. Given the value of it, 1,500 silver, I can't imagine it'll be particularly high threat. So getting a mission set up for next episode would be pretty good. We could also, oh, hang on. The Shadow Crew. Oh, 7 hours, man. I really should have done this one then. 3 enemies. Now that we're a bit more equipped, I should have gone for this one, I think, because that will also give an Orb of Conviction. What time is it now? Oh, it's 8 PM, so even if we set off, we're not going to get there in 4 hours. That's fine, though. Why don't we head over to this one? No, you know what? I kind of want to go for that Orb of Souls. Well, I've got 5.3 days on it. Let's send off a squad to go and get that for us. So, Deep Sea, Lord of the Forge. Not massively useful when we've also got Patches who can also run the Forge. The Dwarf Cook can stay, mainly because you're a good healer. I want to send Elkip, Deep Sea, and the dog. Are you any good in combat? Not really. We need to send our best sort of combat-based characters here. So Deep Sea, Elkip. Honestly, Egas, 8.96 melee. It's not massive, but I think I'll take it. We'll send these boys off on a very fancy adventure to try and bring us back a magical orb, which in turn might apparently convert someone instantly to our team. So if we spot a very good visitor, I imagine it'll piss them off if we steal their elves, but use magic to, you know, brainwash one of them. If we see a good visitor, if we see a particularly strong enemy raider that we want to convert without risking, you know, smashing their head in with a warhammer, then it might be worth keeping this thing around. I think it's definitely worthwhile for this mission. Your team, your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to go and steal this thing for me. Thank you. All right. Our mission is prepared. We are ready to go. I had to cook a little bit more. Oh, shit. Way better the elves. Damn it. We could have done with that to actually take it with us on the adventure. But I had to prepare a lot more pemmican before they were ready to go because we didn't quite have enough long-distance food ready. So, Egas, Reginald, Elkip, and Moss are going to head over and try and grab ourselves. So apparently some Orb of Souls, Orb of Conviction. That'll be pretty fun. Actual adventure, actual questing. Here we go, team. It's not going to take too long to get there either because it's mostly straight down this road and then across these sort of forests here. Thank you all for watching. I hope you like the series as much as I'm enjoying playing it right now, because I'm having a lot of fun with this. Like I said, it's such a different Rimworld experience to what we've had before and what I've personally played before. This is really fun, and I'm really looking forward to building that massive. You know, I never quite finished my goal of starting work on the base, but hey, we did rebuild it in a more medieval style, so, you know what, as far as I'm concerned, that counts. And a big shout out, of course, to all of the insane top tier level patrons making the series possible in the first place, including Big Dick Timmy, Zachary Harris, Tom Terrier 18, Harik, Lucas Holting, Sean Thornton, Laurus, Heydog, Sidini, Necrophilin, Asuna Kirito, Facundo Vasquez, I'm the Lizard King, Josh Lindeen Tesla, Michael Mullen, Tyler Birch, Palvers Presley, Logan Thorne, Conspiracy, Orcswolf, Average Gamer 419, Escape, and Jackson Winman. Thank you all for your support. Hope you guys are liking the series. And the same as well goes to Nathaniel Lindbergh, Euphrates, Jimmy, Quetzal Fox, Jack Allen, Gabriel Van Der, Llewellyn Thomas, Nathan Flores, Euron DeVries, Dunk22 and 7, Zet McDougall, Joseph Beard, Jordan Campbell, Harry McGowan, Will Wade, Chris, Sir Thor the Swede, The Sage, Asero, Nick, Fraser Brennan, Kevin Saunders, Betimus Max, The Insane Pickle, Adam Person, Igor Kozak, Haji Dumar, Noah Gallimore, Panther Pearl, and Alpha Scuff. Thank you all for your support.